Thanks for your time. I don't know if I can follow such a dynamic speaker, but I'll do my best. Mauricio Rosas with my organization, Sunshine Citizens. I should start with that. I think was originally scheduled and couldn't make it, so he asked me to stop by. So I'll do my best. I want to keep what I'm going to talk about really high level, and I promise to not drop any acronyms in, to really name things instead of talking alphabet soup, because the topic is transportation. My group is grassroots. We work with a lot of different organizations. I think I know a lot of people in the room. Overall, high level, FDOT is still at it. You may have heard about TBX, which stands for Tampa Bay Express. This was a project where the state wanted to drastically widen all of the interstate highways just so they could put special lanes on where they put tolls on those lanes, and the rate of that would change. So people could be charged up to $2 per mile. So if you think about what the impact of that is for working people, for all of us, you could get in this lane and you couldn't get out of it for a long time either. So it would last about 8 miles. So $2 for each of those miles each way when someone's trying to make a living. And the only way they can ever get to a job is being in a car, where we don't have mass transit we desperately need. So that's the background. Unfortunately, even though we've done an amazing fight that's helped hold off this project, we did just get out of them and see a workshop last week where it's a very long, boring process, which is probably why most people don't want to get involved with transportation, but the project is still alive. It still could happen. They're playing these procedural games. So there's a really big meeting coming up, and I definitely wanted to tell you about it. I know I'm flying through this, but I want to leave time for people to ask me questions too, because I know the topic is complex and confusing even. That meeting that's coming up concerns our Metropolitan Planning Organization, which you'll hear called the MPO. They are part of our county government. They oversee all these kinds of projects, whether it's this intersection here, traffic lights, how we build big projects like money that goes into funding transit, all of our roads, that kind of thing. They have a board that oversees the MPO, and once a year they have a big meeting. It is a public hearing. It is where they decide the funding for all those projects. Those things are funded 1 year at a time, but they are part of a big 5-year program. So most of what we do when we do activism around that is to come before the board, because it's a public hearing. The public has a right to speak, and that's what we're asking folks to do. And I was trying to get flyers made for everybody. Bo promised earlier that he's going to take the PDF file so people can read this at their leisure about what some of those talking points are. But the general idea that we've come to at this point that really represents the communities most dramatically impacted by the downtown interchange, our historic urban neighborhoods, is that we're coming back to them and we're saying no means no. We have consistently, clearly come to these meetings for close to 5 years and communicated to you this is not a solution. We have locally said we'll tax ourselves because we're tired of the runaround and we're tired of the excuses, and we are ready to lead. So that's really the primary message, along with asking for the greater priority has to be and must be transit. We need better social justice around this topic. We need access for people who are transportation disadvantaged. We need a lot of things. We're ready to fund it. So that's the general idea. That's the MPO board meeting. It's going to be Tuesday, June 11th. It's an evening meeting, something we push for in our activism instead of 9 o'clock or when people are trying to work so they can eat. So it's 6 p.m. in the evening. You're allowed to sign up as early as 4 p.m. and people can also sign up in groups and relinquish their time to others. So that's always a great tactic for this group, especially if you want to come and speak to the topic. Maybe you have members that say, I'm giving up my time, and one rep goes up and talks. I think that was it top level. Is there any questions anybody has about the topic?
I have a question on where it is.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. It's County Center, downtown Tampa. That's 601 East Kennedy.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for asking.
What floor is that? Is that the second floor?
I will verify for you. I don't know if it should be in the second floor large boardroom. Yeah. But when.
Can you repeat the time of day?
Yes, it's 6 p.m. in the evening on Tuesday, June 11. Yeah.
Would that be a proper of the CSX tracks in DC for light rail?
It'd be perfect. It's excellent. Thank you for bringing it up. The flyer I mentioned has a lot of points about what we'd rather see, and one of them is you should be prioritizing purchasing these CSX lines. It would give us a great form of transit that will serve more people more efficiently with less impact to the environment. And it also represents a right-of-way that's there. So you're not having them come in and destroy neighborhoods, destroy people's homes, destroy their ability to have affordable housing. Rail is something that can help us generate development around those transit centers that also has a requirement around some affordable housing. So that's one of them. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.